It can't be that freaking hard, right? Getting healthy, being healthy, staying healthy. I believe that having optimal health is the pathway to living a truly fulfilled life. I'm your host, Ashley Mythen, a qualified naturopath who's passionate about finding solutions to your health problems, because your health is my business and healthy starts here. Welcome to the show. Hello and welcome to today's episode. So today I want to talk about diets. So should we ditch the diet? Yay or nay? I guess it's in what capacity we're talking about diets here. So how does that word make you feel, first of all? Like, take a moment and think about it. Like, how do you feel when you hear the word diet? Do you feel excited? Do you have a sense of foreboding fear about what's about to happen when you hear that word? Because I know I definitely use different diets within different programs for people. For instance, when I'm doing a gut healing program, I will get people to follow something like the Candida diet, which is low sugar and low yeast, just to kind of starve the overgrowth in the gut microbiome. It's not a long-term thing. It's more to kind of help that healing inside. And yet there are other diets, of course, that, we buy into because we're looking for a particular hope. Well, in particular, we're hoping to reach a certain physical goal of some sort. And I suppose, some people swear by them. Some people have, I guess, I don't know many of these people, but I'm sure there are people out there who really enjoy them, and that's fine. But for me, I think it's really important to shift that focus to a long-term solution of integrating certain healthy choices into a healthy lifestyle. So, like I said, I do use diets periodically, but overall, I like to encourage people really looking at, intuitively eating and trusting their body knows what it wants within reason. I when I say that, I have a memory of a patient saying, but what if I want chocolate and things like that? And everything in moderation, which I consistently say is totally fine. But when it becomes to the point where that particular food becomes like an obsession or like almost like an addictive need, then there's an issue. So the best way to begin this process is to look back at your own history and relationship with diets. How have they gone for you? Have you had a positive experience? Do you tend to stick to a healthy routine after said diet, or do you tumble back into a whole heap of bad habits because it was just so extreme and not maintainable? Just have it's not about shame or judging, just looking back reflectively and thinking, okay, how has this worked for me in the past? And then consider because often it can be extremes of dieting and then eating then flipping the other way and having really unhealthy lifestyles. So I think what's really helpful here is to observe what's been done, see if that's made a difference, and then moving towards a more positive way of thinking. And that's shifting that focus from, I need to go on a diet, if only I could stay on a diet, to how can I integrate healthier choices into my life right now? And a really good way to do that is to begin taking note of what you're eating and how you're feeling. I like to just call this a mindful symptom diary, but it's basically that. So what I like to get people to do, and what I've done myself, is I write down everything that I've eaten that day, how I feel emotionally, and any physical symptoms that appear. For instance, any skin flare-ups, any particular unusual or different bowel movements are really good, because that gives us a good indication to what's happening in our digestion. Also, stress and anxiety, sleep, energy, all these things are really good signals and signs to how your body is functioning. Because if you're feeding it the right foods, if you're feeding it healthy, organic, whole food, the majority of the time, that moderation is really important, 80-20 is really important, then you should be able to function at a great level, because you should be sleeping well, your energy should be stable, all these things should be happening. So if that's not the case, there could be other things going on, but taking note is really, observation is a great starting point, because it brings connection to ourselves to help us, empower us to make the right decisions. So once we begin to notice that after a few weeks, there might be a bit of a pattern. Perhaps there's some skin flare-ups on certain days. Perhaps there's more stress and anxiety or on certain days, or less sleep and lower energy at a particular time. These are all, once we notice the patterns, we can go, okay, what did I eat that day? And I find as well, because often when we look at our what we eat overall, we're able to look at it in a way that and go, okay, perhaps I could improve in some areas. And a good way to think about this as well is this: you want to integrate these things so then it's long term. So do you see yourself doing this in 3 weeks' time? Do you see yourself doing this in the next couple of years? Of course, that can be a bit overwhelming. So starting small is really important, and maybe choosing one thing at a time and sticking to that thing for at least 3 weeks to bring it and integrate it into your life. And some things that you can do is really simple things that can make a really big difference. So you've noticed that you've not really drank enough water. Often I find people will drink coffee and alcohol, but there will be no water in there, and our body is 70% water. It needs water to function. So even starting your day before your morning coffee with a glass of water could make a really big difference to how you feel. Adding a handful of greens to most meals and having that variety, because variety is really key. Yes, potatoes still a vegetable. I'm Irish and I love my potatoes, but I also love other vegetables and don't just have my potatoes. I have salads and broccoli and asparagus, and life and health is all about variety, moderation in all things and ways. So once we begin the journey of connection with our body, with what we feed our body and how we feel, we then can choose the things that make us feel good, then look at it and go, okay, well, I'm going to integrate more of those good things that make me feel good. And over time, it will become more and more. And then all of a sudden, it will, instead of it being a diet, a short-term solution, it'll be just your lifestyle. This is just what you do, just like brushing your teeth every morning and evening. That's just a part of your lifestyle. So that's what you want, because then it makes it easier. It makes it sustainable. And then you will, as a side note, get all the goals that the physical and feeling strong and maybe losing weight. These will all happen because you're doing all these wonderful things long term anyway, without having that, the ups and downs of falling off the bandwagon of diets. And often we do, even with lifestyle, sometimes things happen and that's okay. But if the majority of the time you're doing all these wonderful things, it's not going to place as big of an impact on your body as it would if it was happening longer and more often. If you're feeling like this is something you would like to learn more about, especially in regards to your own life, like you're wanting to know what the best next step is for you, then please let me help you. This is my passion. This is my work. I'm here to help you. Head to my website, www.ashleymython.com, or alternatively send me an email, info@ashleymython.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to work with you to help you reach your potential. Lastly, I'd like to end on another affirmation. I just love affirmations, and I just feel like they're just such a great way to start the day or end the day. So here it is. I am learning to eat mindfully and choosing foods that improve my well-being. Thank you for listening. It can't be that friggin' hard, right? Be kind to yourself and each other. Till next time.